Good morning. How are you? Well, it's a sunny day up here in Maine and Owl's Head, and as your correspondent from the shores and waters of Maine, I want to tell you that it's in the 50s here, so it's turning toward that time of the year up here when the leaves will change and people will gather to watch the colors of the season. There's some good news today. Down in Richmond, Virginia, they're taking down, I believe they've already taken down, the statue of Robert E. Lee, which was put up to persuade the nation that what the Confederates did was just ducky, and to redraft the story in a phony way about how they were just fighting for their homeland and things like that, and that it had nothing to do with slavery or the indignities of mistreating and discriminating against other people because of color, and for economic reasons to use them to make a profit. The end of Robert E. Lee in Richmond is a welcome task. The statues spread across the South seem to be placed in around 1905 in a way to offset the rising influence of the NAACP and other groups to honor those words in the Declaration of Independence about how we're all equal, and to make that law stick, since the constitutional amendments hadn't succeeded and they started going to court. And in Loudoun County, where I live now, we had some pretty interesting aspects, and even in recent years I'd seen some discrimination there. So in fact, I had protested in 2013 the fact that there was a Confederate soldier in front of the courthouse, celebrating, therefore, a disrespect for the Constitution and the law, in a place where persons of color went to court and saw that statue, and therefore thought less of the possibilities of being treated impartially in a courtroom. I got death threats because of that, because the story apparently went around the nation. Fox picked it up, and but years later now that statue is down, and so it was a long path. And if you did only that, I suppose it would seem like, well, does the end justify the time and effort that it took? And I think the answer is yes. These things turn slowly to be corrected. The one in Richmond, I think that statue was put up in 1890, one of the earlier ones, and there were a whole series of them put up in Richmond for exactly, I think, the purposes we have. But I think the election of Obama, the degradation of peaceful protest in Charlottesville, and the racism, bigotry, anti-Semitism, all of that, combined with the terrible incident involving Floyd, who was just killed for no good reason, not even for the bullshit charges that they posed against him. So I think this is a good thing that we're taking down that statue, and we'll take down others, because we need a change of thought. Right now, I'm down at the harbor. It's kind of nice down here. The other thing that's going on that is, I think, worth paying attention to is the effort to recall the governor of California. What else would you expect from the far right? And that should be the beginning and the end of the whole conversation as to how one would vote in the special recall election coming up this Tuesday, the 14th of September. One of the advantages Newsom has is not only money and incumbency, but also that the mail-in ballots seem to likely favor his candidacy. And there's a spread of candidates running. There are a couple of leaders, of course. One is a guy named Elder, who's a conservative radio host. But this all began because Newsom was seen as an opponent to what our boy Trump was doing in the White House. And so he was elected for exactly the reason that some of us would support him if we lived in California. Obviously, if you you can't vote and it's kind of late to contribute, there's not much you can do. But I think that's a pretty fair analysis of the California election. Even those who have reservations in the tech community of raising money, because there's no question in their mind that Newsom is the better choice for California. Finally, for my friends out there who accuse me of eating rabbit food because I'm a vegetarian, I want you to know that you can mix up that meat diet of yours, something you should be watching more, but especially men as we get older, and you can have plant-based food and sort of put your toes in the water to see if you want to try a vegetarian diet. It tastes pretty good and you might enjoy it. So here I am back in Maine, and now I'm about the middle of the vacation. And this evening I agreed to appear on a local radio show. I thought it'd be fun. So I'll talk to you tomorrow, let you know what's going on. Bye-bye.